Have you ever thought of hiring a virtual assistant to help you source or do admin? Well, today we're going to talk about virtual assistants and why you should or shouldn't get one. Hi, my name's Simon. I'm a six-figure Amazon seller in the UK, and today we're going to talk about my experience with virtual assistants and whether you should get a sourcing virtual assistant or an admin virtual assistant to help you grow your business. So I have been selling on Amazon now for just over 2 years, and I've had a total of 6 virtual assistants, 5 sourcing ones and 1 admin one. Now, originally I actually had 2 sourcing VAs and 1 admin VA, and I did a very silly thing and ended up getting rid of them because I wasn't a huge fan of managing them, and massively regret it now. But let's just talk about, should you get a sourcing VA? What are the pros and the cons of getting a sourcing VA? I always tell people, they ask me, I've been selling on Amazon for a week, should I get a sourcing VA? My personal answer to that is no. I personally think, and other people might disagree with this, that you need to ideally know the basics of sourcing yourself and ideally be a pretty good sourcer so that you can then help guide those virtual assistants, whether you get them from a place like Outsource Central. Again, link for them in the description if you want to get a virtual assistant from them. They're a fantastic company. Whether I think you do need to have some sourcing ability, but at the very least, you need to be able to analyze deals and help guide those virtual assistants when they make mistakes. So how do virtual assistants actually work? So, there are people generally in the Philippines. You pay them roughly between £320 and £350 per month, which is a fantastic wage in that country for them. And for that, you get a full-time worker who will be sourcing or doing admin for you on a full-time basis. And what they'll do essentially is they'll, essentially source for you. I guess it'd be pretty simple. We're looking for deals, and every day they'll try and give you somewhere between 3 and 5 deals, maybe more, sometimes less. Obviously, depends how the sourcing has gone. And then obviously you get to buy those deals. So essentially leverages your time more so that you can actually spend time either sourcing yourself or maybe doing something else more important in the business and let them do some of the hard work for you. So if you don't know how to source yourself, then it'd be very difficult to help guide them, if they get sort of go wrong. But, if you get one from a company like Outsource Central, they have been trained for over a month, or up to a month, I think it is, and they should know their stuff. But at the very least, you do need to know how to guide them. So every day, my advice is, with a virtual assistant, when you first get one, in the first month or 2, you need daily meetings with them. Jump on a Hangouts call or a Zoom call. Go over the 5 deals they've given you, explain why you like it, why you don't like it, and that way they can learn, they can process, they can adjust their methods. And maybe you don't like buying from one site, or maybe you do love a site. Maybe there's a brand that you don't like, or a brand you love. So, just giving those preferences to them, so you're essentially tailoring the virtual assistant to your preferences. So you do need to have a little bit of a clue about what's going on with your business to be able to help guide them. Otherwise, it'll be the blind leading the blind. So that's the good thing about virtual assistants, is they can really help you leverage your time. They can find you extra deals. If you're struggling to find deals, then obviously a virtual assistant is going to be really good to help you. And sometimes as well, they might find a deal on the website, and then you can go and source that website as well and find more deals. So they can sometimes even just help you sort of guide your own sourcing as well. If they've done the hard work and found a great sale somewhere, then obviously you can then utilize that to find more deals. Now, before we go on to the sort of downsides of virtual assistants, we need to talk about my sponsor, Profit Protector Pro. Now, when your VA finds you loads of deals, or you find them yourself, you want to make sure you're absolutely maximizing your profit. It's actually kind of crazy. I see in my Discord group a number of people that are manually repricing or using a very basic rule-based repricer, trying to save $1 here and there on the monthly fee, but not realizing they're actually costing themselves a huge amount of money on their sales. So obviously you've gone to the hard work, whether you're paying a virtual assistant or whether you're doing it yourself, to find leads. It just seems such a shame not to maximize the profit. Now, this is where Profit Protector Pro comes in. It's got some really good AI algorithmic strategies you can use, and it'll always push Amazon to the limit and make sure you can get the absolute maximum price for your items. It's actually insane, guys. Looking at my results, seeing what kind of extra sales money you can make on an actual item and extra sales that you can get. So, and I'm on £11,000 profit this month, guys, so I know what I'm talking about. So yeah, it's definitely worth signing up to an AI repricer. It does make a huge difference versus doing it yourself or getting a rule-based one. It makes a huge difference, guys, and honestly you'll see a big difference immediately if you sign up. So there's a link for Protector Pro in the description. I think you get a 7-day free trial, and yeah, if you want help setting up as well, you can always reach out to me on my free Discord group. You can DM me, FBA Mogul. I'm always happy to help people set up as well and explain how to sort of get the most out of the software as well. So what are the downsides of virtual assistants? Now, in my experience, all my virtual assistants have been fantastic, but one of the things you need to watch out for is, do they share leads between each other? Pretty much they probably all do. I've basically come to kind of accept it. Hopefully your one won't. I don't think mine do, but it could happen. As long as your leads are solid and you're making money from them and they don't end up getting tanked. And again, this is where it helps to guide your virtual assistant and say, I don't like that site, or I do like that site. That can help guide them, but there may be some sharing going on. Who knows? Obviously, a company like Outsource Central will say to the virtual assistants, it's against the rules, it's against your employment contract, and obviously you can get terminated if you do that. But yeah, that is the downside. You need to keep an eye on it. You need to stay on top of your VAs. VAs are definitely not something that you can basically just like get and forget about. As I said earlier, in the first month you need to be doing daily calls. Once you've got them used to your preferences and train them up a bit more, then you can probably bring that down to like 3 days a week, and then maybe down to like 1 or 2 days a week. But you always need to be in constant communication with them on Discord or WhatsApp or whatever communication method you use, so they can always contact you and you can always contact them quickly. Not like a formal face-to-face meeting, but just quick little messages. So definitely get them on the DMs on Discord, or create your own little server, or use a WhatsApp group so that you can always be talking and communicating. That brings me on to another downside, that is, again, if you don't stay on top of them, then they kind of tend to maybe not get lazy, but will be a bit aimless in how they end up sourcing, especially at the beginning. So you do need to kind of stay on top of them, keep in touch with them, and yeah, just make sure that you're always keeping a watchful eye. Obviously, we're treating all of these people, they are people. You need to treat them with respect, give them good bonuses. I give mine, my previous ones, I get the healthcare bonuses, all sorts of stuff like that. My current ones, I'm going to be doing that as well, just giving them some, good stuff. So, obviously you treat your employees very well and they'll treat you well. Now, there's a cultural thing that happens with people in the Philippines, and they don't tend to necessarily want to have, not conflict, but a virtual assistant in the Philippines will essentially just nod along no matter what you say. So if you say something to them, go, oh, I don't like that site because of this reasons, they'll go, yeah, it's all cool, yeah, I understand. So then you've got to say to them, especially when it's a very important concept, I always say to them, well, okay, explain that concept back to me. And then suddenly they'll go, oh, no, I didn't actually hear what you said, or, oh, no, I didn't actually understand it. So they'll oftentimes just be very, I'm not sure what the word is for this. They're just happy to just like go with the flow and not like ask questions or go like, what the hell are you talking about, Simon? So that will come with time, hopefully, but you just need to kind of drill that in, that basically it's fine to ask questions. It's fine to question things. If you didn't understand something or didn't hear it, absolutely do say something. That's very important as well. Otherwise, essentially, they will just carry on their day, didn't understand a word that you said, and or maybe an important concept that you said, and they're just going to repeat that same mistake over and over. So that's a very important tip that I've definitely learned. Another thing I love to do as well is every day I will ask my virtual assistants what went well, what didn't go well. It's hard to do this microphone. And what could be improved. This comes back from my software days. We used to do stand-ups, daily stand-ups, and we go, what went well yesterday, what didn't go well, and what could be improved. And the whole point behind this is essentially trying to figure out if there are any bottlenecks, any problems that you've run into, what went well. So, I found a great site and a source from there. And you go, okay, cool, that's something we can note for the future. Or maybe they say something like, my internet was really dodgy, or my laptop's being really slow. Essentially, virtual assistants, in my experience, won't volunteer problems. I guess that's what I'm trying to say with the previous comment as well. They won't volunteer any issues, so they'll happily sit there with a laggy laptop that's full of bloatware or whatever, slowing down their sourcing. when they could have just said to you like, oh yeah, what went bad yesterday? My sourcing went great, but I was really slow because my laptop was being really slow. So then you can obviously then solve that problem. And obviously it's just identifying problems and then being able to solve them. So that's the main thing. It could be they said, oh, I was feeling really sick and I didn't, couldn't find. I'd just say like, well, why don't you just take the day off? If you're sick, it's fine. Obviously, give them sick days as well. Please do. I always give them sick days as well. So it's just trying to identify problems that won't be necessarily volunteered, especially as it's a very long distance thing we're doing here, and just trying to identify those problems, smooth them over, and make sure that they're running as efficiently as possible. Now, another thing we need to talk about, and I touched on this briefly in my previous video actually, is getting an admin VA. I think again this is a very important thing to help grow your business. Now, I used to have an admin VA and I got rid of them. So one of the biggest regrets in my business. And I'm definitely looking to get a new admin VA now, because doing admin yourself is such a waste of time. I'm doing it myself now. I'm much better off spending my time sourcing or developing my business than I am doing admin, especially chasing invoices, things like that. So an admin VA probably is a really critical thing for any business that wants to grow. Now, if you're just trying to run a lifestyle business where you're just happy making £50,000 a year, you're doing everything in the business yourself, you're hunky-dory, you don't want employees, then sure, you can do that, absolutely no problem. But if you want to grow your business to 100k, 150k, 200k profit, you really are going to have to basically outsource a lot of the tasks like sourcing and admin onto other people, so that you can spend your time doing more strategic things like finding new categories, doing some high-level sourcing, finding new sites and things like that. So definitely something you need to consider if you want to grow your business. I do recommend actually getting one as soon as possible. I need to take my own advice, because I say I had one and then I don't have one now, so I waste about a week every single month or so. No, not every month. Every single quarter, I waste about a week doing my VAT returns, chasing invoices, and that time we better spend doing other things where I can make money. So, especially when you're making £11,000 every single month, much better spending that time doing sourcing and pay a VA to do it. Awesome. So hopefully you found that video useful. Hopefully it's maybe pushed you towards a VA, or maybe not. I don't know. Depends. I do think VAs are really critical to an Amazon business if you do want to grow, if I've not made that clear already. If you do want to get a VA, there's Outsource Central. There's a link below. You can go ahead and reach out to them and ask about either a sourcing VA or an admin VA. So that's reach out to them if you do want one. If you want to use Profit Pro, the repricer, which I think is critical to any business, again, link for that is in the description as well. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.